All right, folks, how you doing? Welcome back to the Mars Mystery. Disclaimer, as always, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976, allowances made for fair use, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. The Mystery of Cydonia, the Philosopher's Stone, Part 1. So Hancock states that Carl Sagan was opposed to the notion that the Cydonian monuments were potential proof of intelligent extraterrestrials, yet he argues in his books, both fiction and non-fiction, in favor of the existence of intelligent life in the universe. Hancock also goes on to state that the movie Contact depicts the most probable means by which humanity would discover alien life, according to most scientists. Hancock makes the point that in his book Cosmos, Sagan states, there is something irresistible about the discovery, or even a token, perhaps a complex inscription, but this by far a key to the understanding of an alien civilization. He continues, Sagan then refers to the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799 by a French soldier in the Nile Delta. On the stela, the same inscription appears in Egyptian hieroglyphs, Demotic, the ancient Egyptian cursive script, and Greek. Hancock states that the stone allowed French scholar Jean-François Champollion, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce French names, to decipher the hieroglyphs and translate them. He then quotes Sagan, quote, what a joy it must be to open this one-way communication channel with other civilizations to permit a culture to speak of its history, magic, medicine, religion, politics, and philosophy. Today we are again seeking messages in space. Hancock makes the point that if we did get a radio message from extraterrestrials, how would we decipher it? Quote, is there in any sense an interstellar Rosetta Stone? We believe there is, a common language that any technical civilization must have. That is science and mathematics. Geometry, like I was saying in my last video. It's all geometry. Sagan is writing about receiving an alien message expressed in mathematics. What if the message was built into the surface of a neighboring planet? Could it be that we are so educated, aka brainwashed, to expect communication via radio that when we get other signals, we ignore them? Cultural blindness. So Hancock elaborates on this point with a very cogent example. In his book Lila, he writes, author and philosopher Robert Pirsig tells of sailing into port at Cleveland when, because of misreading the chart, he believed he was 20 miles upshore in a completely different harbor. Yet the landscape seemed to tie in with the chart until he remembered having discounted discrepancies between the map and the land because of what his mind thought it knew, shutting out all information that did not fit. He goes on to emphasize that this is a serious cultural phenomenon. He meaning Hancock, that is. Quote, we build up whole cultural, intellectual patterns based on past facts, which are extremely selective, he writes. When a new fact comes in that does not fit the pattern, we don't throw out the pattern, we throw out the facts. Very well said. A contradictory fact has to keep hammering and hammering, sometimes for centuries, before maybe one or two people will see it. I never realized that Graham Hancock was an optimist. Hancock goes on to state that our scientists are so stuck in their beliefs that they were and are potentially blind to what's right in front of them at Cydonia. Hancock is just dropping these truth bombs. Where is this Hancock when he's doing interviews? There's a world of difference between interview Hancock and book Hancock, I'll tell you. So interestingly, Hancock returns to the McDaniel report, quote, what would have happened if the same information had come in from much farther away in more conventional form? A digital pattern of radio signals originating in deep space has been received via the SETI radio telescopes, translated into images by computer. The first image is that of a humanoid face. The second is a pentagonal diagram, like the DNM pyramid. Would NASA file these images away like some lost ark if a portion of the signal appeared distorted? Would NASA stop listening, saying the message was not complete? Do you know, they probably would. The language of stone. So Hancock makes the point that our knowledge of ancient Egypt came from artifacts, not radio transmissions. He also states that even if we didn't have hieroglyphs to learn from, or any written language, the buildings and pyramids themselves tell us a great deal. Like I was saying about geometry. A stone pyramid may not be able to travel through interstellar space, but as a signal of intelligence, it lasts longer than a radio transmission, writes Hancock. Yeah, exactly. Interesting how Hancock keeps returning to Egypt, given how both David Icke and Brian Desborough directly tie the Giza Plateau to Mars. I mean, what did I say in my last video? Quote, if any race, human or alien, wished to leave a message in stone, they could choose no better vehicle than a pyramid to transport it down through the ages, writes Hancock. Quote, any artificial structure will contain messages, even if these are unintentional. Well, I think the message was very intentional. Both on Earth and on Mars, we find the same thing, pyramids. We find sphinxes. And also, on one planet, you still find us, and in the past, you would have found us there also. The world is not enough. This world, in other words, is not enough because we're trying to get back to what we used to be. This is what I think. But we're facing the same problems and we haven't really learned from them. But I'll elaborate more on that in the future because no race or no people, no planet can escape its destiny. Anyway, thanks for watching.